So I'm a researcher and lecturer at Swinburne. I usually teach design and innovation, and today I will be focusing on product design. So there are two ways of understanding product design and the process of it. So there is the design thinking process, which is a simplified way of looking at design that can be adapted to other disciplines as well. So it became very popular in business. And the most important part is that you need to start with empathy. So the first stage, as you can see, is empathize. After that, you can define the problems that you're going to work on. You can ideate, prototype, and then do testing. But then when we do product development, that is when we are actually trying to commercialize something, we have a bit more structured process that is called the product development process. And I'm going to show some examples of how it works tonight. So product design involves doing any type of design. So from really basic stuff as scissors to really complex ones as airplanes. So we're usually, like designers and product designers are usually involved in all this, but of course we work with teams, with people from a lot of disciplines depending on the type of project. So I'm going to show you some examples of people that didn't follow those processes and didn't start it by empathizing with the users or the customers. So I don't need to explain a lot. This is actually not an example of bad design. So we did this for last season and then in the stay in this season, and we asked the people in the crowd to help us designing the poster. So we did a little bit of co-design and we got some really good ideas. And we got this one that stayed in my mind, and I thought it was very unique. But I saw this when I was looking for designs for this presentation, and I saw this as well. But design is everywhere. And to be honest, there seems to be something wrong with the people that design parks for kids, which is, it strikes me. And there's also in public places. And this one is one that really annoys me because I find it often. If you have a door that is meant to be pushed, why do you put a handle? You're sending two different messages. And this one is also, it surprises me because it's a important computer brand, and they put the off button just next to the backspace and the delete. Imagine you're writing your thesis, like because I know some of you are, and you actually pressed the wrong thing. So now that you know what bad design is, can you tell me an example of a product that you think it's really innovative and it's a good design? What is that? What else? Something you think it's really innovative and really changed product design? Yeah, that's a very good example. Yeah. All right, yeah, I'm going to share with you some examples. So the thing is, good design is subjective. So what we do in product development is that we tend to say that good design is measured by customer appreciation. So it's related to sales, how much you sell a product and how much customers love your product. So Crocs, actually this is a real Croc by the way, which I think is horrible. But Crocs filled a niche in the market, and they really target some user needs that were not targeted by other shoes, and Crocs became very popular in some places. There's also some really beautiful products. These are from Alessi. It's an Italian brand. And they became like industrial design icons. And of course, this was from what you said, like airports, and the products from Apple have been famous for like really changing the way we use things. So Steve Jobs and Apple is still very good, are still very good at this. Well, he's not very good at this anymore, but yeah, Apple is really, really good at understanding what people want and doing it through a really good product. So IKEA is another good example in another design field. They really changed the way furniture was designed, and not only that, but they changed the customer experience. So they were able to design furniture for more affordable prices. When I graduated from uni, I thought I was going to work in an office like the one on the left, but the reality, doing my job before coming here, it was a bit more like Mythbusters, so there were a bit of accidents involved and explosions as well. And I'm going to share that with you. So I'm going to tell you what really happens behind the scenes in product development, and I'm going to share the first example. So I work on a project improving the gold extraction process in the Colombian jungles. And basically the problems we were facing is that the people working in this process had really, really bad working environment, and there were so many health issues. And then the security in this process was also really bad. So I'm going to take you on a journey there to show you what the project was. So we're going to zoom in Colombia. So the red region is where we're working at. So it's actually north from Medellin, where I come from, and where our company was based at. And if you see, this was in the middle of nowhere. So this was in the middle of the jungle. And basically, there's people there just because there is gold. That terrible image you see there is the footprint from illegal mining. So the work we were doing and the company was working in the middle. So that's how it looks after they finish working. They really recover the ground. And basically the difference is that they don't use mercury, but the illegal miners use mercury, which is really toxic, and it really kills the land. So the town we were working at, it's called El Bagre. So it has a really ugly name in Spanish. And it's also a really ugly town. And basically it's there just because there is a lot of money. The company we were based at is there next to the river. And it's actually a really, really big company, and they make a lot of money. But they do responsible mining. So that's why I was excited to working with them. They have this operation side, but then they have a port. And to go to the place where they actually extract the gold, you need to take a fast boat, and it takes between 40 minutes and 2 hours to reach the dredges. So what they do is that they make these divisions, and they change the ways of the river, so they can actually extract the gold in particular places that they know the gold is underground. It's not the traditional mine. This gold, it's basically a deposit from millions of years ago, so it's 25 meters underground, so they need to put water in there, and then they take these dredges. So in this image, it looks pretty small, but these things are massive, and they have 4 or 5 of them. So to give you an idea of the size, it has like 5 floors. It has a helipad on top, and it has a military base, each one of them. And to give you an idea of how much they make, and I don't know why million is outside of the thing, 1 day of gold operation. In 1 day of gold operation, they make around they extract 13 kilograms of gold, and that's the equivalent of $1 million. So we are talking about the middle of the jungle and in a conflict area, so there's a lot of risk there. And this is what we were dealing with. So basically the process for extracting gold hasn't changed in around 60 years. And maybe even more. And in the last part of this dredge extraction, they collect the gold in these carpets that they need to clean manually. And if you see the positions are terrible, they need to work almost in underwear. And on top of that, the room is around 38 degrees Celsius with 100% of humidity. It's like working in hell. Like I actually went there because it's all about empathy. So we wanted to understand how the process was. We talked to them. We had lunch with them. We interviewed them. We experienced that in the room. And it's inside. All this happens inside a bulletproof room. So if you see, these are incredible concentrations of gold. So imagine how much money you're getting if you take a scoop of that. So that's where the security issue comes. So basically, even if the operators are searched when they leave this bulletproof room, like gold is really hard to trace if it's inside of their bodies. So in a handful of this material that you saw, they could get the equivalent to $5,000. And these are people that are not getting paid a lot. So it's very sad because they had to fire the people if they suspected they were stealing. So even if it wasn't a fact, they had to fire them. So what we did to solve this problem is first, in design, and when you want to be innovative, you need to be humble. You really need to understand all the solutions that exist around, how other people are solving the problems, and why they are doing it the way they're doing. So we search everything. We look at the feedback of other products. We analyze. This is a lot of YouTube here. YouTube is great because people, especially Americans that do a lot of gold prospection, they love to they love to review all the products. So that's great. Then after that, once we have all the knowledge, then we go to a big whiteboard where everyone is participating. So all the people in our office will start generating ideas and sharing and improving them. And once we had around 25 different concepts, including crazy ideas, then we also invite our clients to participate. And we did initial screening. So we ended up with around 6 concepts that we started sketching and developing more to make them actually work. And you may think that design has a lot of intuition, but when you're dealing with product development, it's something that you are going to produce. And when something is produced, you kind of go back and make changes because it costs a lot of money because of all the manufacturing. So you need to be very objective, so we did an evaluation, and again, because it's all about empathy, we invite the operators to participate in this evaluation and define the criteria. Of course, the client is involved, and of course, our office as well, the designers. So we ended up selecting this concept, and we basically wanted to do some kind of conveyor belt that could basically change the clean carpet on top that is collecting the gold. After a few hours, when it's saturated, we would switch it to the other side. It would be washed with water jets, and then the clean carpet on top would start collecting more gold. So once you already have an idea, like you need to put it in the computer, start to think about the details. Is it going to fit in the dredge? How much is going to weigh? How are we going to produce it? You start thinking about the mechanical parts of it, all the engineering. And of course, if you're going to build it, you need to know the size of everything and how it's going to fit. So once we knew all that, we actually manufactured a prototype that we wanted to test. So we went there. It wasn't meant to be so loud. So basically, we did a test. The water is always running in these dredges. It never stops, so it made it a little bit more challenging. But basically what we did is that the operators were only supervising the process, but they did not intervene anymore. They didn't have to touch the gold, and all this gold that was clean went to a separate container. So this is how it looked during the implementation. So the total time of this project was 11 months. So the reason I share with you is that I wanted to see you like how we go stage by stage through the process I showed you at the beginning. In the second example, I'm going to be a little bit more brief, and I'm just going to tell you how failing is a big part of innovation. So in this project, we had to rethink the way cement was delivered in Colombia and in many other countries as well. So the problem was how to deliver bulk cement to small and medium construction sites on the mountains as well, without wasting the return trip of the truck. So this is how many construction sites look like there. And these are the two ways of how cement is delivered. So if you see the big truck there, it costs a lot of money. It's made out of aluminum. And basically, once you deliver the cement, you just need to go back empty. And then you lose that weight. And it's all about money because you need to be able to sell at a better cost. So our client really wanted to change this. And by the way, the client is one of the largest cement companies in Latin America. And the other option is with bags of cement, with paper bags. And this is a really non-environmental solution. So what the client did is that they hired a company in the United States to build this bag. And they tested it. And it didn't work. So basically, they were trying to make a bag because they wanted to fold it after and send the truck empty with something else. But the delivery was really hard. But they really wanted to keep going with the bag, and they came with that concept to us, and we told them, well, we're going to do our best. So we designed this. This is how we thought it was going to work. We actually hired a company that worked with this type of plastic textiles to build it. And when we were testing it, it exploded. So the manufacturer told us that it could hold a pressure of 60 psi. But when we were at 4.5, the thing exploded. I'm actually glad it exploded at 4.5 because there is so much air in that bag that imagine many times the volume of the bag compressed inside that thing. So when it exploded, it lifted the roof of the warehouse and it broke all the windows inside of the offices. It also, that hole that you see is one part that just, we never saw it. It just went flying and made a hole in the wall. And it actually took the steel door off as well. So we realized how careful we needed to be with this project, even if we kind of knew it already, but like we needed to be careful with the manufacturer as well. So we reinforced the bag, and the prototype failed as well. So we had to do some changes. We decided to test this small, and it worked. So we went big, and we changed it with this new principle, and it failed again. So cement is a very tricky one. It changes a lot depending on the conditions. So we did another prototype. It worked, but it wasn't good enough. By this time, we were kind of experts in cement delivery already, or at least building bags. So we still needed to know how much pressure we could work with. So we exploded that one on purpose, but this time we used water because you kind of compress it so it wouldn't create a big explosion. And after we knew all that, we developed another prototype. So this was like the perfected version of it. It definitely looks better. And you can see how small it is when it's folded. So we did the test, and it worked, but we were working near the limit of the pressure, and we told our client, look, this is a big mistake. Like, you shouldn't take this to market. Like, if you really want to improve the delivery to your clients, you shouldn't put their life at risk. This is very dangerous, but there are other ways to do this. You can solve this problem with other ways. So, because we still wanted to keep the client, of course. So we proposed something else. So we did a product that could actually solve their problem and could work and operate well with the pressure. Then we actually did something that didn't need any air at all. So we developed this cement dispenser that could basically deliver on demand for your clients without needing the bags of cement. Then we kept doing more prototypes, and it changed, and it looks a little bit weird. And then 6 years, hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe millions, and 2 successful new products, we ended up with this. So basically, we changed the way cement was delivered in Colombia. Hopefully, it will reach other countries as well. We eliminated the need for cement bags. So with this, we produced a cheaper way to do it, more versatile, that could fit many different types of trucks. It's more sustainable. It can be operated by one person, and then we could reach small and medium-sized customers. So basically, what I'm going with this is that the road to innovation is not linear as the process of design that I'll show you. It's really bumpy, and you're going to fail many times. And if you're a scientist or if you have a new business idea, it's going to be the same. So the important part is you learn from your mistakes, and of course that you're humble and learn from other people's mistakes. Look what it's out there and really analyze what other people have been doing. A good example of this is Dyson. They are very good at analyzing like a problem that we thought it was already solved. Dyson really thought like, well, we can make this better. It's a really annoying experience. So they are really good at going through this prototyping process and involving the users. So listen to the feedback. Be humble, even if you're a scientist, whatever the field is, listen to other people. We don't have all the answers, So, in essence, the secret for innovation is empathy and resilience, and of course, a lot of time and resources. Thank you.
Go to nerdnight.com to find a Nerd Night event near you, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for our latest presentation.